Any smoke put out fire. So Mr. President has to now win more of the trust of the people. It's not going to be easy, but he can do it if he wants to leave a legacy.
Of course. And sorry, now back to you, Marion Doty. After the verdict yesterday, the president said in his speech, he said that this is a time for them to come together to rebuild Nigeria. And after that, we have seen that Labour Party is still not happy with what has happened. And they said the Labour Party National Chairman, Julius Abure, has said he knows that President Tinubu is going to use security agencies to come for them. And that is actually, of course, he said he has intelligence that President Tinubu is planning to come for them. Where do you think this thought is coming from?
Thank you very much. I said this before that Peter Obi and his Labour Party minions are trying to take a page out of the playbook of Donald Trump. During this election, what's called, normally when somebody loses, it's what's fine, you agree that you lost. But Donald Trump lost 2020 election. Till tomorrow, he's still claiming it's rigged, and that is the motivation that he's using, that he's going to use to get the Republican nomination right now. That's what Peter Obi is trying to do. There were two losers in this election. The first loser, which is the perennial loser, Atiku Abubakar, he is just bitter that his boy in 1993, defeated him. Because President Bola Tinubu can be said to be a few K that below him at the time. He ran for Senate to be president. So he's bitter, and that's why he went as far as vicious as he did. He's probably not going to concede victory, and I don't even think that kind of a person has anything meaningful to contribute. But Peter Obi, on the other hand, he's still young. He's trying to prepare for a 2027 run. So he's trying to keep his constituents. So that is why they are saying all these things. President Tinubu was in power in Lagos for so long. How many people can say that he had, vilified them or gone after them? None. This was the one man that said before the election that if he was defeated, he would go back. It was not there's no gainsaying it. He said it himself. So, and that's what he would have done. He wouldn't have gotten into this murky fight with the people. So the reason why they are saying all these things is because they are just trying to keep their base. They are trying to keep the campaign so that maybe they can ride and expand their constituents to get to victory. But what they don't know is that the man in power he has the Midas touch. He is going to change the economy, and the prosperity that ensues will put them in oblivion. So nobody is going to be listening to them in 2027. It is such a, we have a system, the social media, that has given voice to a lot of, insane, ideas that people are just, out here saying a lot of gibberish because they have followers and they don't have regulations and they don't have responsibilities, and that is one of the things that these people are trying to play up with. I don't think the president should be bothered with that. I think, I had a debate with a guy called Udain yesterday, who was claiming that they are after him, they are after his life, blah blah blah, and I'm like, asking people, is there any police or warrant for his arrest? Is there anybody after him? Is he? If the Nigerian government wants to go after you, they will put a warrant out for your arrest. I have not heard of anything like that, and they are trying to claim these things just to inflame the polity and
I think the network is
okay. There are still a lot of important things that it needs to do in terms of our constitution, in terms of the decentralization of the democracy, allowing the state to generate funds so that they can contribute to the federal government as opposed to being a parasite on the federal government, and so that we can allow each region to run at the peak of its capacities. Those are things that I think needs to still be done in the future. The the triad that is going on right now with the economic reforms and all of those things to get Nigeria back into a place whereby the people are not suffering like they are right now. It's very essential. The next step that is going to take Nigeria to where it's supposed to be is also very essential, which is what the president is going to start to do from the, what's it called, by working with the National Assembly. And may I just talk about the thing, what my dad, my uncle said in the studio, that when we talk about these people from these senators, really, I think our leaders are a representation of us. I think we need to increase the quality of people and the level of education so that they can choose better leaders, because there's somebody going on TV saying Nigeria has bad roads, and that's why senators need Jeep. It is an uneducated comment to the best of my opinion, because there are other things you can say. Because you can say it's not in our hands. You can say a lot of other politically correct things, not to tell Nigerians who are also driving this road, who are losing their lives on this road. My cousin died on a Nigerian road 5 years after his accident. So you are now telling me that yes, to hell with me and my cousin, but we need to drive Jeep so that we can protect our own lives and our family. When I am not in charge of the road, you are in charge of the road. I can even say without evidence that it is your corruption in one way or the other that has led to the quality of the road being what it is right now. But you want to drive the Jeep, and that's what the excuse you are using for us. I am not even in support of them saying they want to buy quote unquote made in Nigerian cars, because we don't make anything in Nigeria. We don't make cars in Nigeria. We import the cars in parts. That is the truth. Because if you want to tell me before you can say you make a car in Nigeria, prior to I think 2019, you have to be making 65% of the parts within the country. Now it is 75% of the parts that you must be making within the country for you to say you have a made in America car. So if you want to tell me we have a made in Nigerian car, you have to tell me where we are making the metal, where we are making the windshield, where we are making the bolts and the nuts which are used all across it, where we are making the tires and all of that. So we don't have a made in Nigerian car. We are just importing the cars with foreign exchange, and then we'll bring it here and assemble it. It's a good thing because it's creating jobs. We should not chase it out, but nobody should blackmail anybody to say they have to buy made in Nigeria car, in my own humble opinion. So I'm not even advocating for the car right now. I'm just saying the comments by that senator was tone deaf. So yeah.
All right.
I want to take this let's look at it from the legal perspective. And Prince Yemisi Shillong shared a piece yesterday, and he said the justices of the Nigerian Supreme Court are proven men and women of integrity, with the barest minimum of 15-year post-call of tested service at the bar, who are now rubbished for political and tribal reasons by all manner of people. And that basically means that people hold abusive words to justices. So what's your take on this, and what measure do you think the federal government of Nigeria should take as regards people insulting justices in Nigeria? Because this won't be taken lightly. If it were to be the Western world, people don't even insult the people in governments like we do here in Nigeria. And I remember you made mention of non-regulation of our social media space. So what's your take on that, sir?
Thank you very much. It's a shame. It's a crying shame that the justices are being bullied and all. Like in the United States, also this thing tried to happen. Like, there are a lot of the judgment that's coming up from the Supreme Court of the United States that I personally don't approve of, because I think they are quite frankly retarded. And yes, people have freedom of speech, but you don't have freedom to, insult or malign or threaten the other guys. I could remember prior to the election, I guess they were trying to plan for their loss instead of trying to plan for a victory, where they were saying president was meeting the Supreme Court Chief Justice in all the things that were not, just phantom ideas that somebody just cooks up in a room, posts on social media because he has a lot of followers. And that is why I feel like the whole thing boils down to social media and lack of regulation. We have to think about it this way. Back in the days when when the early part of when my own generation was growing up, and back in the days when, people like, my uncle, my fathers, I know were growing up, people were raised by nature and nurture. It is the way you were born, your genetics, and also the way your parents raised you that shapes who you are. Right now, parents are no longer raising their children, not because they don't want to, but because there's the social media. So social media algorithms decides the culture of the culture of the next generation. We don't want to be in that space. Nigerians are a cultured, highly respectful people. I will not see my uncle in the studio there and just call him by name. Just by looking at him, I don't even know his age. I don't need to. I will respect him. That is the way I was raised. But right now, you see people, like I said, like the guy I was debating yesterday, he told Olisa Agbakoba, a 70-year-old man, to shut up on social media. It doesn't make sense. That is not the way he was raised. That is not our culture. So the only way we can do social media regulation, social media is so vast that the government does not have the wherewithal to try to police it. You can have 10 accounts easy on one app. So if you multiply that by 200 million, how does the government want to police it? What the government can do is put responsibilities, and that is the way you can. That's why I was talking about big social media a subscription service. First off, entertainment has never been free. Information accessibility is not free. People watching us right now are paying to a decoder or something. So when you want to use social media, subscribe for it. Pay 500 naira every month to use Instagram. Then if you want to use Facebook, another 500 naira every month. Then for you to now follow some people, you can follow your friends and family members, but if you have more than 1,000 people that are following you that you are not following, then you are already mass communicating. So then you should have some regulatory responsibilities that you go and register for, so that those people will start paying you to see what you are posting. By the time we start putting money and people start making choices between buying a plate of rice and getting on Snapchat or Instagram, then they will start making smart decisions, and maybe they can take their time back from this social media company that is just occupying our time and transforming our time into money making. That is the only way we can regulate social media. When people start to pay for it, they use it a lot less. Now they have their time back to them. Now they can start thinking about what they are doing and be more courteous and be more cool and be more respectful, as opposed to where we have this crazy madhouse place where cultures don't even matter anymore. We have children right now that are living in Nigeria that don't even know our culture. They don't know our language, because all they are watching is whatever the social media algorithm is pushing onto them. That is the only way we can regulate it, so that we can save the sanity of our country and even of our world in general. Because another thing that I've observed is that social media has led to the dumbing down of the next generation. People my age, even some people older than me right now, don't know things that you expect them to know normally. They don't think, they can't reason, they can't abstract knowledge from information presented to them because of social media. And it's not their fault. It's not that they don't have the brain, it's that they don't have the time. Social media has taken so much of your time. We always have 24 hours in a day, or we used to have 24 hours in a day where you don't have a lot of social media to do. Now we still have 24 hours in a day, but we just have too many things. We are spending 2 hours on Instagram, 2 hours on Facebook. Think about all those things and everybody texting you and everything. You are inundated. You don't have time to think. You don't have time to abstract knowledge. These things take time. So we need to make people, and the government will make money from this. So it's a win-win situation, because the government will fix the social ills, but they would also make money, because every time you pay to view someone's post and someone's dance, the government is collecting taxes from each and every one of those transactions. So the government should not try to stymie free speech, because that will just look bad and they will not be able to do it. So they will just be a cherry picking. You go after your enemy and blah blah blah, because it will be very difficult to even apply any form of social media regulation. If there's an election and someone is saying something that violates the law to the opponent of the ruling party, they won't go after them. But but when you make people pay in general, you are going to drown out the noise and the idiocy on social media, and then justices will no longer have to be, to have to endure all these vile and immoral and uneducated, unreasonable, unthinking attacks.
All right, now that we are talking about social media, there is a research that has confirmed that Nigeria is top on the list of 29 countries that spend most of their times on social media. And since it is like that, which means we are truly, truly on social media. And I wonder how sometimes we complain about how we don't have money to do this, we don't have money to eat, and we are so on social media. But I don't want to go on that in that direction. What I want to know is if regulating social media is a difficult task, and Nigerians are always on social media, how can the federal government, use that opportunity for the growth of Nigeria?
Yeah, so the social media has its own good. I mean, internet has its own good, that's what I'll say. Social media is like, to me, I think is the cancer of social media. I mean, we are saying, Nigeria has a median age of like 18 years old, right? So we are a very youthful, young population, energetic. So if we are one of the people that have the highest amount of time on social media, do we now wonder why we are not making enough rice, why we are not making enough beans, why we are not making enough agbado? The agbado that people laughed about, they don't know how it is affecting their lives, why they don't know that agbado is responsible for egg being 200 naira for one right now. They don't even know, but they are on social media complaining. People that should be on the farms, agriculture is not something to be ashamed of. Agriculture is things that people are engineers, professors in. My brother-in-law is essentially a cattle rearer. He went to masters. He was going to do a PhD. People do PhD in poultry. Do you understand? But these things so we should not wonder why these things. So when you're talking about the government trying to bring about prosperity, use it to grow the economy, I would say you have to do that so that you take people out of it, you make more money from it, and then you can grow your economy. Because if you look at it, someone who is on social media is not probably doing anything productive. We need the youth to be productive. We need them to be able to think. We need them to be able to understand basic things that, I will tell you one personal life story. You might not know this, but I did sell akara on the streets of Aja, personally as a medical doctor. And why did I do this? Life, a story of my life. I met a man who was about 28 years old, child, hospital bill. He was waiting for his brother, so I just felt to ask him, because he was always by the girl's bedside. So I asked him that, what does your mother do? He told me his mother sells akara. He mentioned the name of the market. And I was like, so why are you not helping out? And the guy got angry with me that, doctor, what do you mean? What kind of an insult is that? Can you be selling akara? I was like, I didn't tell him anything, but in my mind, I'm like, akara is too dirty a business for you to do. But you can wait for that akara money to pay this hospital bill of your child. That akara money was what raised you till you finish accounting. But now you can't do the akara. So I started selling akara. I didn't succeed at it because I didn't have its advantages and I didn't have the resources that I wanted to put in the business. But it was something that was so revealing to me that Nigerian youth don't even understand that akara is a commodity, that McDonald's and all this Burger King that you're looking at right now started as the food that some people used to eat at home, and then they commercialized, and now they have thousands of franchises. They can't even think about that Nigerian youth, and they are now complaining that they don't have jobs because they are not afforded the time to even sit down and think and look at how to improve their family trade. So these are one of the things that I feel like we can always try to do. Let's get our youth off social media so that, and keep more of our youth on the internet so that they can also contribute to the economy. We have to separate internet, which is a great, marvelous thing, from social media.
All right, Marinus, we have to connect to our guest in the studio this morning. Sir, what would you have to say about, the comments? Sorry that we didn't come back to you on that comment, but I want to hear your own opinion on what you think Aburi says about, the attack. They are already, they have already foreseen the attack that is coming from President Tinubu. Do you think President Tinubu would want to go that way? Because this is a man who said, let us come together and work for the betterment of Nigeria.
Dante, I'm not annoyed at all. I like that gentleman. I like the Akara thing that he's talking about. I was listening fervently. I got depressed when he also said somewhere on social media, Agbakoba was asked to shut up. Not good. Professor Wole Soyinka was asked to keep his mouth shut. And eventually we got into this Gbajue or no Gbajue. Now, a couple of things. I'm not surprised as to what Abure came up with. It's called Saburato. In this kind of culture, you do not know how to, call it concede. You do not know how to lose. That when you lose today, you may win tomorrow. We forget and we do what you call zero-sum game. Bottom line, we're not practicing democracy. This is not democracy. This is them all crazy, like Fela said. Do I think President Bola Tinubu, in 1,269 days that he still has, will go down below and begin to do that? Maybe as a human being, he should be able to speak for himself, but I'll be shocked. I will be shocked that in these few days that you have, with the gargantuan kind of problems, the thing that you now be thinking of now are people who have decided that they are going to be on the field. They knew they lost. They will not accept that they lost, but well, if you think you have won, we'll give you one kind of sword, Can't get the ball, go for the leg, so that you continue to have a way to live. He knows that. He's been a captain of industry, and he knows where people will say the grape is sour just because they cannot get it. I do not believe that is going to happen. Having said that, Auntie, I will be very frank and balanced here. If the shoe were to be on the other side, it's not unlikely that APC chieftains too will be saying exactly the same thing. What does that now then say? We do not know how to be gentlemen and gentle ladies in the game of politics. And I want to tell Manidoti, he made a statement just now. Because when I come here, I come on strength of what I know. That senator that made that statement, Karimi, Senator Karimi, he is now a senator, was in the House of Reps in 2012. I know him very well. He is knowledgeable. He knows his onions. As at that time, he was in the Committee of Oil and Gas when they were talking about a fuel subsidy or no fuel subsidy during the time of Magnus Abbey, and Bukola Saraki was chairman of that committee before he became Senate president. These people know what they are doing. The onus is now on us to do everything possible to make sure the power of recall, which I also know that it's not going to be very easy. We have to rise up and say, no, this is just not possible. However, Tante, you are talking about it. Where are you talking about? Manidoti, you are talking about it. Where is labor? Where is labor? Is there a statement that is now being made, or it's only when you have increase in fuel that we all now begin to now want to occupy Ojota, occupy what? This is ugly. I do not agree, and I will never agree that you can have freedom without control. It is not possible. On the social media thing, we need to have measure of control. You need to know how many people have been destroyed, palpably destroyed by fake news, false news, even within the politics that had just happened. Somebody says he's tired of life and he'll go on Third Mainland Bridge and he wants to go and jump down, and what we are going to see are young Gen Zs now wanting to be the first to capture when he or she is going to do that. That is negative. What I think we can use the social media for, like he says, are in the area of security. Know your neighbor. Be sure that you can have it as evidence to show that things are not, and don't allow things to happen before you now be. So we need measure of control, measure of relative punishment. Look, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has 1,291 days or thereabout. I think, like Maridoli said, he should just close his ears to distractions as we have with Aburi, as distractions we have with my friend Ologun Agbadi, PDP. Go for the real governance. That comes smelling like rose. Make sure you are fair to all. And Mr. President has to understand the fact that within 1,269, I don't know how that is going to happen. That Nigeria has come to be sacrosanct. Forget about that. Nigeria is negotiable. We must come back, look at our differences, accept that those differences are there, and then go for the broke. Good luck, Mr. President, once again. Good luck, Tanti, for asking me. And good luck, Miriam. Maridoti, good luck too.
So looking at okay, thanks, Maridoti.
You can come back to Maridoti actually.
Okay. Now that we have a certified president, looking at insecurity, the divisiveness in Nigeria, what would you say, or what should we be looking forward to from this very administration, from your own perspective, please? What do you think President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will be doing to, ascertain security of lives and property in Nigeria, especially from the northern part of Nigeria, because these people are faced with so much of this insecurity? So what should we be looking forward to, sir?
Thanks very much. I do believe that security is definitely indeed a problem in all over Nigeria. Actually, people still got kidnapped in Ondo State. They get kidnapped everywhere. If there's no kidnapping, there's banditry, there's oil bunkering, there's terrorism, and all of that. The president needs to look, and he has done that. And I know there's been a lot of activity by the military and all of that. But I think what we need to do is also to be creative and innovative. What we lack in desired resources, we should try to make up for in required innovation. And how can we get this innovation? Technology. Technology can be used to effectively and efficiently surveil the whole expanse of Nigeria. Nigeria is not that big. Nigeria is just a little bit bigger than Texas. So, we can surveil the whole of Nigeria and then be able to channel and target our responses to threats. And then the president's idea of states security and the selection of the security infrastructure, like I will always say this, that security is a primary obligation of the local government. You are the one that is primarily in charge of security of your house. You know where you keep the front key, you know where you keep your money, you know where you do all those things. So you should not give the front key of your to the door of your house to the chairman, landlord association. You should keep it with yourself. So security should be put in charge of the local government. If those people want to keep themselves safe, let them be able to fund their police, arrest people for breaking traffic rules, make money, and do all of that. That would significantly bring us safe. So if there's any bad actor, they know the people who are coming in. They know.
Oh, okay. We've lost Maridoti, but it is actually always a pleasure having Maridoti, come to the studio to talk to us about, his perspective or his opinions on political issues, and it is a good one, and we really appreciate him for that. So Maridoti, thank you so much for your time. We'll be taking a break, and when we come back, we'll still continue with the rest of us in the studio. We'll be right back.
On Alive TV.
Taking a look at events in Nigeria. And now the news in detail.
Look at the number of people he has built.
He has the capacity. And today, a historical reoccurrence is taking place right here in Jos.
You need to be involved in the voting process. Your vote counts.
Government, in spite of its lean resources, is running a welfare program for the most vulnerable in our country. We've never had that before. Welcome back. Nigeria should be competing with countries like
I am Hansi Azar.
Alive News, keeping it fresh.
Hello and welcome to Alive News. The immediate past Minister of Youth and Sports Development Chief Sunday Dare, the federal government of Nigeria has taken punitive action against the sectarian. Nigerians have expressed fear over the possible shutdown of businesses and job losses.
See, things are just going higher every day.
For a fact that going from here to Ombalin Day before was at 300, but now is at the high side of 700, 800.
The subsidy costs us trillions of naira yearly. Such as a vast sum of money will have been better spent on public transportation, health care, school, housing, and even national security.
On Alive TV.
Taking a look at events in Nigeria. And now the news in detail.
Look at the number of people he has built.
He has the capacity. And today, a historical reoccurrence is taking place right here in Jos.
You need to be involved in the voting process. Your vote counts.
government, in spite of its lean resources, is running a welfare program for the most vulnerable in our country. We've never had that before. Welcome back. Nigeria should be competing with countries like
I am Hansi Azar.
Alive News, keeping it fresh.
Hello and welcome to Alive News. The immediate past Minister of Youth and Sports Development Chief Sunday Dare, the federal government of Nigeria has taken punitive action against the sectarian. Nigerians have expressed fear over the possible shutdown of businesses and job losses.
See, things are just going higher every day.
For a fact that going from here to Ombalin Day before was at 300, but now is at the high side of 700, 800.
The subsidy costs us trillions of naira yearly. Such as a vast sum of money will have been better spent on public transportation, health care, school, housing, and even national security.
Thanks for still staying tuned to Alive this morning. Of course, this is the program where we get to talk some top issues that are happening in and around the world. My name is Tanti Azar, and I have Maria Moke, and we also have our regular, analyst, Akin Fatunke, with us in the studio, and we'll go straight to our trending stories and come back to discuss on them. On the first story on our trending story this morning is the federal government and Southeast Governors Forum have been told by a high court in Enugu State to apologize to the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu. Along with this, the federal government and Southeast Governors Forum, who are the respondents in the suit filed in January 2023 by Kanu's lawyer, Aloy Ejimako, were also ordered to pay a sum of 8 billion naira as damages to the IPOB leader. Ejimako, in a statement on Thursday, says the court explained that self-determination is not a crime and thus cannot be used as a basis to arrest, detain, and persecute Kanu. He says the suit was filed against the Southeast Governors Forum and the federal government for their collective executive actions that led to the proscription of the IPOB and declaring it a terrorist group in contravention of Section 42 of the Constitution, which prohibits discrimination of the basis of ethnicity. And now, sometimes I don't know what to say, but I will just leave it to you to talk about this thing. It is not actually, I don't know how, something that someone has created that has caused people's lives, properties and all, and you say it is not a crime, and you're quoting, our laws to say that someone can live and actually express himself. Self-determination is not a crime. What do you really have to say on that?
Tanti, I told you from the onset. Freedom is like the kissing air that we bring in. You're free to bring your friend, to bring mine, which is free to bring out. The only thing that makes it sane now is you put some control. So if there is no control, I will as well snatch your own freedom, you snatch my own and snuff life out of me. I'm going somewhere. We are guided by the rule of law. We are also guided by the rule of process. And within those laws and processes, there are checks and balances. So my first act as a sane and responsible Nigerian will be, please obey the court ruling. It looks foolish to you. It looks foolish to me. Where I might even find it obnoxious. Those will be sentiments. If we feel otherwise, we can appeal. I don't think I have been served justice in here. So what should the process be? Find a way to appeal. And when you find your way to appeal, when eventually the Supreme Court now says Nigeria should not continue to exist, so be the law. We all have to accept that we all signed to the convention of the law. What I disagree with is to have this law, expressed that way. You do not appeal it. You keep on allowing it to fester. You keep on keeping people rowing against the express statements of the law. You saw the tribunal. You saw the Supreme Court either upholding, agreeing to disagree, and shaping things. Now we have a new dispensation. I have always said that President Bola Tinubu in the New Hope agenda is gotten his act set out for him by one of his left-hand men, which is Prince Lateef Fagbemi. Go back to our laws, make sure that you drop it in the earpiece of anybody that cares to listen. We must obey the laws. If we are not going to obey the laws, there are processes and procedures. If there are overriding factors that is based on national security, one of them will be the fact that a trailer is coming that one is not aware is going to come, and then you want to jump at the person to push that person out of the trailer. After the fact, everybody will see, oh, I was trying to do this because I wanted to save lives. So it looks relatively foolish. We can appeal it, and within the judiciary itself are inherent checks and balances to ensure that the quality of pronouncements is in alignment with the Constitution and the law, which, unfortunately, Tanti, I quarrel with, because I just feel that that Constitution is still not there. Our Constitution is lied on itself, but let's put that aside. I also think that there is a way out. By December 15 or thereabout, I know the Supreme Court will be making a pronouncement on issues surrounding Nnamdi Kanu. And whatever the Supreme Court says, I think, in my mind, Nigeria and Nigerians should be ready for it. If it goes to the left, by that I mean, continue to keep Kanu in there, the president has a prerogative of mercy, because we need to get ourselves together. But should the Supreme Court now then say, look, obey the rules of the court? I saw the reliefs. Some of them become, some of the judges will now then say, we'll be asking this to happen. Sell the whole of Nigeria and give it to a particular person, It can also be heard and reheard, represented, but we must be seen as a country that respects copyright, respects laws, and if the laws are the kind of laws we feel we don't want to respect, then let's change the laws. It's possible for us to change the laws, pure and simple.
Okay, sir. You flogged the law.
Did you say I flogged? I like the language. Go ahead.
Because I really appreciate everything about the law. It has to be done duly according to the law. But I have something here, a statement entitled by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And, he titled this one as IPOB Ready for Dialogue on Biafra Peaceful Negotiation and Referendum. And permit me to read this. He said, we, the global family and movement of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, ably led by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, wish to reiterate once again that IPOB remains peaceful after being tagged a secessionist leader. Okay, and he also said we remain open for negotiations and dialogue on peaceful exit of Biafra from Nigeria through a UN supervised referendum. When I saw the UN supervised, I want to ask, should we say that the United Nations are in support of the exit of Biafra in Nigeria, or is there a particular body supporting these people, or should Nigeria grant such a person who has cost people their lives and properties, freedom in the name of, okay, let's go by the ways of the law?
Harriet,
yes, sir.
Calm down. I'm trying to calm down myself. Tanti is looking a bit more. Tanti, calm down. Nigerians, let's calm down. There is absolutely nothing wrong within the framework of conventions that Nigeria has signed into, that we have freedom to join and freedom to exist, as long as we follow some laid down rules. I made a statement. Maybe you didn't pay too much attention. And I've said it, Mr. President, 4 years, or whoever becomes president after 4 years, after the next 4 years 10 years, Nigeria cannot and will not, despite our feelings, cannot be non-negotiable. Like marriage, we fall in love, we fall out of love for one reason or the other. So you go your separate ways. You don't even have to marry. However, if you are not going to do that, you will not say because you don't want to marry or you want to split, you now want to torpedo the institution of marriage. I am not aware that anybody has said, I'm not aware, maybe some people are saying it, that Biafra should not be. Why should I? Yoruba agitation should not be. If you want to go. But there are laid down rules and procedures that you must follow, including perhaps doing a referendum. And you cannot just come out and say, gang, bang, bing, you want to do a referendum. Do you have a land demarcation of where you are trying to carve out? Are you forcing them into it, or is it that it's by their own willy-nilly? And if we already have a constitution, you can't exist in vacuum no matter how bad. And we have representatives of people. You go through your representative of people and say, go into the National Assembly and then say, look, we go through all those processes. Nobody can force you. And I hear, and that's why I'm asking you to calm down here. Oh, does it mean that United Nations want to? United Nations will support if you decide that what you want to start to do is to be cutting your own head. If they push your head back, you want to cut it. Is that what you want? Write it down that that's what you want. But why do you want to do that? No, don't tell me anything. I don't want to cut it off.
You have to say why.
That is what you have chosen for yourself. The United Nations has no right to say they are not going to want to accept you. However, they will look at the letters of the convention. Has it been followed? You are not going to tell me that you have not heard that the Yoruba Nation too, we call it Yoruba Nation,
So I
have
know.
not gone in there. Be careful. We spoke about social media. Be careful some of the things we read in social media. Okay, well, it is either official, so we assume that it is official now. If they know it is official, then you still not expect situations where for you to say because you want to go, you now turn yourself into unknown government or whatever it is and beheading people and all that. Does that make you look like serious persons? And then when you cannot get it free, you either want to do a coup d'etat or you know be sending things on social media. Nobody. Everybody has the right to self-determination. However, we must all sit down that yes, we need to split the cake. Yes, if you want to go, please, for God's sake, go and can do it very peacefully. You are not going to do it, Tante, by pointing at me and calling me a zoo or calling me a normal human being. Oh, come on. Your freedom is sacrosanct to you, but it stops from where mine should start. Until we are capable of coming together like that. The other way around, which I think is the problem, is that people are now saying, Nigeria don't want us to go. Nigeria don't want us to go. And all that. You are free to go. Go it through the normal process. Don't go it and say, in the morning, I'm ready to go. In the afternoon, I still have something in there. In the evening, I still want to continue to be a member of the same nation. It makes you look very, very funny and unserious. Nigeria, the constitution of the federalism that we are practicing, I also believe that that federalism is lying to itself. It is not. Can we all get together? Biafra, you want to go. Yoruba Nation, you want to go. Arewa, you want to go. Middle Belt, you want to go. And then within the Yoruba Nation, the Jebus wants to go, the Egbas wants to go, and all that. Let's all now come together and say, this is how it's going to happen. We may not necessarily want to dissolve Nigeria. Let's go back to our capacity to operate what we have and bring something back to the center, back to regionalism. all these things, if we really calm down, but you're not going to tell me that you want to go in this marriage, and then the next thing that you want to do is just pull me down, despoil me, and I will not be able to. You can go in your peace. Leave me with my peace. The children that is in between us, let's agree. You know, are they going to be in your custody or my custody? What's going to be my responsibility? If you now say you want to go, please, by all means, go. And you don't have a responsibility to take care of them, then you are still not ready to go. If you understand what I'm trying to say.
Well, I'm very sure that was extensive enough for her to understand. We'll go to the next story. And on the next story, we have the Rivers State Police Command has confirmed reports of the murder of a 300-level student of the University of Port Harcourt, Justina Otwene, by her 400-level student boyfriend of the same institution, Damian Okoligwe. The lover of the 300-level undergraduate of the Department of Biological Chemistry, Collins, was arrested after Otwene's remains were found in his residence along NTA Road in Obio, Akpo local government area of Rivers State. The State's Commissioner of Police, CP Umwonyi Emeka, says operatives of Ozobo Division received a complaint from a neighbor who complained of perceiving a very bad odor and immediately rushed to the police station, where the DPO led detectives to the scene. He said on arrival, the door was forcefully opened and a Ghana Must Go bag containing a lifeless body was recovered back to the station. We have heard so many, let's not flog this too much, but we have heard so many cases of, you know, boyfriends killing girlfriends for rituals. And we have talked, of course, we know we are in a time where there's difficulty, hardship that is making people put themselves in one kind of situation that, you know, all they are going to be doing or blaming, or who they are going to be blaming at the end of the day for what they have done, is the government and the hardship it has put on them. But let's not forget that this thing has been happening for a very long time. It is just becoming so worse now because we just feel like we have someone to blame for all our actions. And it's actually, I feel it is actually the right time for people to do things and take responsibilities for their action, not the government or not what is happening in this country, because a lot of people might be going in even worse situations than someone is going, but the person has something to do with this kind of ugly, you know, situation.
What I will say now is that, you know, the ostentatious display of wealth is a contributor to this very, very sad occurrence. You know, everybody wants to ride a very big car. They want to appear the big boy on campus. And at the end of the day, when you see them, you see them display this menial jobs. Some jobs that are not really, you know, worth making millions from. You hear them telling you that they are skit makers, they are into theater and all of those things. And when we dig deep into whatever it is they did to amass this wealth, you discover that it is so ugly and dirty. I think first thing first, the Nigerian government should go straight into the entertainment scene. Please, we really need to. Okay, the case of Mohbad's death revealed quite a lot of secrets. You know, the operas among musicians, deadly things they do for money, the drug, and, you know, all of those, we saw some people being called kidnappers, and at the end of the day, we celebrate them, call them musicians and all of those things. But I think the government should look into every aspect of the entertainment world. And then for students, we should now start as a government, you know, to look into what's right. Who gave you the right that you are bringing to school? Our parents no longer question, you know, us that
my son has made it, my daughter has made it, and that's all.
And if, in fact, there was I was on a show, and you know, a woman came and she said she is the president of the Yahoo Boys Mothers Association.
Wow.
If you Google it,
Proudly.
Yeah, proudly. People are so proud of this, of cybercrime, and they celebrate it as a professional job, a job that gives or helps them eke out a living. And it is. We have come to the point where government should look into the tertiary institutions and every space that we have the youth and things they say they are thriving with, things they are making money from. And so, you know, because this is a very unpleasant situation.
Very, very unpleasant. It's Port Harcourt. It was Ogun State not too long ago.
Yes.
I was on your studio when a mother said a senior should punish a junior and should be buried and stuff like that. We've gotten it all wrong. The psychiatrists, hospital and our mental states out of poverty and not seeing good governance at all levels, but political, social, religious, family has all broken down irretrievably. We are in a state of Sodom and Gomorrah, absolutely no doubt about that. So you don't have any gumption to pull down cultism and drugs, see what is happening, and then we are going to now go and take a revenge, and they come openly into classrooms and blow heads off. And it's been going on like that. What does that tell you? That Nigeria is in a state of nature. We do not have the kind of security that we should have. We should go back and restructure our mind and our capacity to do. Now, the example that you have just given, Tanti, the one that happened in Ogun State not too long ago, and the one that has always been happening, the Debra case that happened in Sokoto.
What happened?
How did we settle it? Was it settled one way or the other and we don't get to know? Look, when you get one person or two people and you use them as example, people will begin to find a way to sit up. Bottom line for me is that we have a dysfunctional society. We need to know who we are. We need to count ourselves in whatever neighborhood. If any stranger comes, let's see what is happening. Somebody is a Dibia, is a Babalawo, or whatever it is, you know that, okay, you don't know what I'm doing in there, then there's a problem. I must know what you are doing in there, no matter what the kind of walls that you put. We must be very conscious, and that when we see something, we say something. That is the essence of the social media. That is what social media should be doing. Do it to us and quickly report it. But when you do social media under freedom of information, and then you go to give it to the police, and the police will tell you that's the person that took it, becomes terrible. Whistleblower should not just be at the federal and state. It should even be even within the church, within the mosque, within your neighborhood, and all that. So that is the way it should be. And then please give me back the old time religion whereby parents are parents, children are children, and we should not have situations where we just go produce all and then put them in IDP camps and and put them in those bins and what have you. If you are caught doing it, because we know some people who are doing it, that's not the time you now then say that's my daughter, that's my son, and all that kind of thing. You should be the one that even pull it out. That to say, bad behavior is not acceptable. I know it is possible for us to do it. We are overpopulated with virtually no work to it. And that is why I don't know which one comes first, chicken, egg. Security, which in itself we should declare a state of emergency, economic state of emergency, relationship state of emergency, virtually state of emergency in everywhere. We must refocus and we must reinvent the Nigerianness of our country.
I totally agree with you. Relationships should be put on state of emergency because these days, what you hear about relationships, like you can't imagine. And I watched the video of this very guy. on social media yesterday. Somebody was analyzing what happened. The girl was in his house. He was videoing the girl like they were having fun. He made her so comfortable. He made her to believe him.
He called the girl over. This girl was the ex of this Damian guy, and he lured her. So I don't think.
So he wanted to
of
take
course,
a revenge.
More like a revenge. So he feels that using her for ritual is the best thing to do.
I don't know what she must have done to him,
how
but
is it that you, Miriam, please, let's be practical. For whatever reason, maybe I go off my head, and in this studio as we are speaking, I stand up and I give you a slap. I know your natural reaction is to want to defend yourself. I give you a slap. But what if eventually you realize that in a fit of paroxysm, whatever it is, you calm down a little bit.
Yeah.
You can then report me to the next level and ensure that I pay for that crime in such a way that it will be done in such a way that it will never happen again. But if I do that, and then you say you forgive me, and you say you are in love, what kind of love is that one? And all that kind of stuff. Somebody is treating you the way he's treating you, and then you want a situation that is going to now do a sledgehammer for you. Our male children, our boy children, I'm afraid, I'm serious about it. I saw that happen. We need parents, mothers, fathers. We need to begin to pay attention to the boy girl, to the boy child as much as the girl, because these boy children are the ones that your girl children will eventually have to come and meet, and vice versa.
True.
We also see women who are doing different things. I mean, remember the other one that lured somebody in, and then they eventually went and killed the man and all. Society is upside down. And when it comes to religion, they say we are the most religious country. What kind of God is it that we are pursuing that will make you want to bring out the intent? Animals, we must accept it. We must go back to the drawing board. You must go back to the drawing board. You must not necessarily marry. I'm afraid. You must not necessarily say. And you know that we have situations where you have LGBTI. Okay, it's not according to law, but some people will keep their eyes the other side and see that a lot of some of this sodomy is going around, and because it's also happening at high places.
Yes.
We need a total overhaul. The orientation agency must wake up to know one thing, that you don't do anything about it now, they come and swallow you.
I think it's time we called the National Orientation Agency out, because I don't think they are doing anything on the social media space, and in fact, around the space they are meant to be filling. And also, like he rightly said, the religion thing and parents and all of those things, they need to be reorientated. Maybe there should be forums for parents, and they should call for trainings, and maybe also they should maybe ban people that give birth early. Because most of these people, when you look at the age of their parents, I made the research actually. I conducted the research, and when I saw it, I saw that they have young mothers, single mothers, single fathers, kind of things that comes out of single parenting. And not all single parents are to be blamed, but these ones are the ones making it look like it is hard for them to train up their child in the way they should go. At the end of the day, we abuse the fact that government is doing this, government is doing that. How about the 90s, the 50s, the 40s, when they don't really have government intervention in things?
Miriam, you mentioned if early birth is going to be banned. Most of these girls go to do whatever they are doing without even their parents knowing they have started doing these things. Tell me, what is going to be done to them to stop them from giving birth at the end of it, because
I read
there was
it.
something that you are doing something. There has to be that there's something that is coming out of it. And if they are doing it, their parents don't know. Well, how can someone say you want to ban this type of, thing? This is actually talking about sex. And I feel most times what they need, just the way you talked about, is the orientation these young girls need. I don't think if they go to secondary schools like the way they used to go, during my days, they will come to school, orientate us, tell us
And
things
they should even bring
about,
back the
relationships.
form of education.
Yeah, they talk to you about relationships. They talk to you about how to take care of yourself as a lady, how to defend yourself as a lady. And I'm saying, like, these things are not happening. Talking about how ladies are being killed these days, even though women too, I've seen how they have also killed other people. But it is on a high rate now, how you see this person has been raped and killed or something like that. So we need our young people to be orientated. We need them to know that, when they do something, there's going to be definitely a consequence that is coming after whatever action that they must have done or they are even thinking of going to do, so that at least it will reduce, this rate of unwanted pregnancies.
Since you can't clap with one hand, you have to be clapped with two hands. I like what you have said. Our leaders too must now begin to lead by example. They should not continue to see you living larger than life. You are nobody. You just join politics and then you begin to spin millions, and you are the type of people that will sit in the front pews in churches and mosques and stuff. Total reorientation, total replanning. Let us do a census. Let's know who we are. Let's know those who are strangers. Let's know at what level on your streets. Who are you? Question, who are you? Let's know who you are. If you cannot tell us who you are, no, come on. And let's look at justice system and criminal justice system is overwhelmed. That within all those chains, anybody that is doing well are the ones we are going to promote. Anyone that we are seeing that is doing whatever, we openly make sure we punish them.
Of course. And since we're talking about, the crimes and the, whatever that is happening because of the hardship, which of course that is what people always say, things are hard in Nigeria, and that is why some people are going into some kind of things. Let's talk about the Ember Month now. People always see Ember Month as a month that killings, accidents, kidnapping, robbery, terrorism. I can remember, we talked about it, Benue State robbery. I cannot remember the last time I heard, that robbers were caught in the bank. It's been a very, very long time ago, and now these things are happening. And I'm very sure if you ask people, they would say, it is the Christmas period. In some places during the Christmas period, or let me say Ember Month, where people are planning towards Christmas. And I don't really know why people overplan for Christmas. Of course, I know Christmas is a time for celebration. It is a time for love. It is time for giving. Let's see it that way. Instead of seeing Christmas as the time for, killing someone to get something from that person because you want to enjoy Christmas. How can you even think of enjoying Christmas after, doing sort of all these things? I can remember there was a time I was traveling from Lagos to Jos, and in my mind, before it happened, I felt it strongly that something was going to happen. I didn't know what. And I was like, God, help me. If this thing happens now, what do I do? You understand? Immediately I was saying it. It happened. And I was like, God, I said it. And, at the end of it, it happened. Nothing happened to me. In fact, nothing happened to my belongings and all that. But so many people were robbed on that day. So many people were crying because so many things were taken away from them. And you go home and say you're happy that you're going to be celebrating Christmas. How does that even make sense to people?
Thank you. Can we... love is not practiced. It should be practiced. And I remember December 10, 2005. And Nigerians remember December 10, 2005, when we had the Sosoliso crash. The Sosoliso crash, of course, took Pastor Odukoya's wife at that time, and so many prominent students of the Jesuit College who have been leaders. The plane showed faults from Lagos. And then Tanti and myself were in the plane. And Miriam was a prayer partner. Oh God, please allow me to land. Well, and all that. So the plane landed. You and I, we saw these children rushing to this same plane that we knew. Rather than we now then say, no, it should not happen and all that. We are busy kneeling down. Thank God though for saving me and all that. Those people who went to that plane, you know, the worst happened in Port Harcourt. You see, Tanti, I am trying to make a point that there are quite a number of low hangers that if we are a little less selfish, like we are trying to say, thinking more of the other person than yourself, is going to help us a lot. Look at that. So. Assuming people have said, no, when we're coming, this plane nearly crashed and stuff like that, these children should not go in there. But what did we find? Well, me, I'm safe. The rest are not safe. Forgetting the fact that you that think you are safe, if you are not careful, next minute, you are gone. And the person that will come to help you might be those people that you are not thinking about in the first place. We need a system of orientation, like we are saying, of teaching, of family values as much as we can, and the punishment within family values when we begin to get deviation. Don't wait for the police, don't wait for someone. You as a parent, come out. I have a problem. I have an abuse. My child is not up to it. And you find people that is going to help. Otedola just decided he was going to give scholarship and all that. This child that you are hiding might be one that will be the leader of tomorrow if only you are able to open up. But once we begin to, you are being battered, you don't want people to know that you are being battered and all that kind of stuff. The shame that you are covering, when you're going to come out, you may be in your grave. And that is very, very important. So, like Professor Jerry Gana said, if you are going to be a father, be a good father. If you are going to be a mother, if you are going to be a husband, if you are going to be a wife, if you are going to be a pastor, if you are going to be a politician, make sure you do it well. If you do it well, and I do it well, we are nearer getting sanity. And you do it well, I don't want to do it, you get frustrated, and we'll have a state of anarchy as we already have in our hands.
All right. That was actually, Miriam, do you have anything to talk about the insecurity, at this period of time? Because we are running out of time and we'll soon be out of the studio.
I think people need to take precautions in the Ember months. First thing first is when you go to banks, coming out of the bank, we still see people, using the gallery, ATM gallery, people, display their liquid cash and all of those things. And people sometimes leave their laptops on the chair in their car while driving. You love to ply lonely roads because you don't want somebody to see you, or you don't want to pick your colleague and you want to ply a lonely road. This is the Ember month. Take precaution. Do not display liquid cash. Do not take lonely roads. Do not move to places that you are not invited or your people at home does not know you're going to. And please also do not travel. Do not travel when it is not really necessary. Because this is the Ember month, and we fail to check the things that we have. We feel like this is my car. I don't really need to check it. I don't. And like he said if those people had told those children, they would have helped them stay alive to date. Some people feel like my car is doing like something is wrong with this, I can manage it. And that is why we have situations like unforeseen accidents. But I prefer not to call it unforeseen. Some accidents have been foreseen even before it happens. So check your car's Do not ply lonely roads. That is very, very important. Some people love it so much. I have a documentary on that. That some people in Lagos prefer to, because I don't want to enter the bus or the car or traffic. Let me go take this route. These are the things that gives these people upper hand.
You made it.
I'm sorry. I thought it's important. And when you are going to do party, what is party? Owambe and all that.
It's not necessary.
Party can also be, as we sit here, we are sharing cake and all that. And always remember that there is somebody out there who hasn't gotten food around you. Think of putting a little smile, no matter how,
on people's face.
Because if you don't do that, maybe they are the ones that are going to be the legwork of people that will now be your kidnapper. Take care of yourself. Take care of your own. Take care of your children, and think of the other person at the other. So if you do that, Tante, little, and I do mine, and she does that, and we have a coterie of people that can do that, they will be the people that come and tell you, hey, there is danger lurking. Be very careful. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No. No, you were definitely going to say this. Actually, this is really important. Like I have said it before, even as a preacher, if you want to go preach to people, at least make sure you know, aside the word that you have for them, what else? Because a lot of people are suffering, and someone has not eaten for a long time. You're coming to preach for the person. Trust me, the person will not want to listen to you. But this is not bribe, but this is you trying to call the attention of the person towards yourself, because you have something good to tell the person. So just the way you said, and I buy it, that whatever you're doing as a person individually, you need to touch people's lives. Because trust me, talking about security, our relationship with people matter a lot. So don't think it is all about you or all about your living. Other people too matter. And Miriam, you mentioned something that was actually funny. That was what I was going to refer to. Okay. Colleagues not trying to, because they don't want their colleagues to be in their cars. They follow. Yeah. It is actually very funny, to see people do that. In fact, it should give you joy that you're trying to help people. They are not sitting on your head. There's a space in the car.
I can feel prices now, so they feel that it's not really.
So it is. So if you're going to be in my car, you have to pay, and since you're not paying, you have to go your own way. It is not. And we are talking about making Nigeria a better place. It starts from we. It starts from us. It doesn't start from the government. What are you doing to help other people that you're expecting government to help a whole lot of people? You individually, what do you do to help people? So we really need to know that we need to help people. We do need to help people. A lot of things are happening. We know that things are hard, but in your own little that you can give to someone, try and give it to someone. Maybe you have what to say, your last words before we go on the show.
My last words today remains that stretch out a hand of love to someone very, very, very close to you. It starts with your gatesman, your cleaner, people that do this menial jobs for you. Take care of them like Mr. Akinfatuke rightly said, and you will be sure of your security. My name is Miriam Okay. See you sometime next week.
All right, what do you have to say before we go?
Maybe as we're speaking, you are thinking that you are at life's end. You want to go and commit suicide. You want to go and take it off that partner or whatever. Please have a rethink. I have been sitting next to two of the most delectable Nigerian ladies. I have enjoyed myself thoroughly. Even if I was thinking of doing suicide, I changed my mind.
Change your mind.
Look at life as half-filled bottle and not half empty. Nigeria is going to be great again.
Of course, Nigeria is going to be great again. And next, we are going to be showing you streets of Lagos on Alive TV. So stay tuned with us and make sure you follow all our social media handles at Alive Television. Go to our YouTube page and subscribe. We have so many information there for you. So go there, check out all our content and be thankful. All right, I'll see you next time. I'll see you actually on Monday. Stay peaceful. Please lend a helping hand to someone today. Bye-bye.